No. So my partner walk in. I said, how the hell he get? The conversation over with. The partner walk in. His mama say, well, Mr. Walden Davis, nice to meet you. He come in with his chain, his bracelet on, his watch, necklace. I'm so looking like a dope boy. This man got older parents. His mama say, well, Jared couldn't tell y'all this, but I work for the CIA.
Holy cow!
No, the DA said, "Oh, Your Honor, we're ready to offer him 5 years served, 3. He just got out of jail for crack cocaine, this, that, and the third." Man, my stomach dropped. There's no lie. I said, "Oh." I said, y'all, I gotta get something to drink. They said, follow him out to make sure he don't run. I said, woo. She said it, I was like, damn. I swear to God, I don't know what was it. Man, I drank that water. I came back like Johnny Cochran.
Right.
Hey, Your Honor, no, this, that, and the third. Everybody who live in the city of Atlanta can vote for this seat. It's on the presidential ballot. It will be the last thing on the ballot. So I ask that you, whoever you vote for president, scroll down that ballot and vote for Duvwon Robinson for city council.
We're here for the introduction of In and Out. It's a movement to change the world. It represents all things and all of us at all times. It's about freeing ourselves of any prison.
Welcome to In and Out Podcast, where I have dope conversations with incredible formerly imprisoned people. I am Eric Obama Geralt, your host, and today my guest, Duvwon Robinson, shares his story of redemption under the most unlikely circumstances. Duvwon, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going, Eric?
Everything chill. I want to thank you first and foremost for coming out, sharing your story, taking the time. I know you're extremely busy. We're going to get into why you are so busy, but I know you got a lot of stuff going on every day. I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. I know a little bit about your background, but let everybody know out there that's listening. Tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Duvwon Robinson, born and raised in Atlanta. I'm currently running for Post 3 City Council at large. So I'm a businessman and an activist all at the same time.
A businessman and an activist all at the same time. That's dope. So we know that business is about relationships and it's about people. And we know that an activist is the same thing. So in the backstory, I studied the notes and I know that one of the common themes is your network. Tell me about your network and how far back it goes and how you built that network and how it affected your life.
So it goes back, man, to my grandfather was a number runner.
Really?
Yeah. Back in Atlanta, the street culture kind of ran Atlanta. The street culture and the Muslim community kind of ran Atlanta, right? Because the civil rights guys, they didn't have no money, so a lot of these guys would sponsor a lot of their trips. You would have people like Aretha Franklin, James Brown that would come down to Atlanta and support them financially. They would do shows, and they would use the money from the show to support King and Andy and all those guys. But what happened was in the 70s, when Maynard them got in office, Maynard didn't grow up in Atlanta. He wasn't involved in the civil rights movement. So when he became mayor and appointed everybody in the office and helped a lot of black became millionaires, they forgot about the street guys that have helped a lot of them along the way. So they didn't get a seat at the table. And then years later, they got rid of the street numbers and you got Georgia Lottery. So it pushed a lot of them out, right?
Right.
So if you ain't had no plan to transfer that street money, there's certain things you were just left out, right? Because time changed and they made stuff legal and you were just caught, not being ready to transform and reinvent yourself.
Wow.
So a lot of those relationships, man, a lot of them older guys I just knew, and my grandfather was a solid guy. So a lot of them, man, just, whenever I would go to him for favors, it was a yes, always a yes, because I didn't go to him begging, right? So a lot of my relationships came from me helping, me asking them to help other people. So if I come to you, I'm coming to you because Miss Jones needs something. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't me. So they didn't never mind helping Miss Jones. Hey man, Miss Jones, tree about to fall on her house. The city won't give her a permit. Can you give me $500 where I can pay 7 guys, get 4 of us to pull the tree this way, while the other one, try to stop it from falling on the house. So it would be things like that we would ask these guys for. So it was never no handout or begging. So the relationships, that's formed over the years that's been genuine.
Wow. So that's pretty dope what you're telling me, because you seem to be a person that really knows like the history and the backstory of Atlanta and Georgia. I'm a backstory kind of guy. You said Maynard didn't grow up in Atlanta?
No, Maynard from Chicago and Dallas.
Wow.
Maynard Chicago and Dallas, yeah.
Maynard was a transplant.
Yeah, Maynard was a transplant, absolutely.
I didn't know that, because he's a lion in Georgia and in Atlanta history. But
all of them are transplant except for Dr. King. Now, none of them from Atlanta now.
Wow.
None of them from Atlanta except for Dr. King.
Wow.
Yeah, none of them.
So it sounds like when you say like a lot of the politicians or a lot of the people were really being backed by the street, it sounds like something that, for me, America, or the story and the way they tell it. When you hear about people or movies or stories told about organized crime, they talk about the Italians, they talk about the Irish, they talk about the Jewish mafia, even the Chinese mafia, Asian mafia, but they never really want to give credit to like a black organized crime or a black mafia. And my personal belief is because they never really want to make it seem like we as a people are smart enough to do anything organized. But you're telling a different story. Like a lot of these brothers were behind the scenes, I'm guessing, they were behind the scenes of a lot of people that had ended up having major success, or they were behind the scenes of a lot of things that actually took place and turned into what is now today modern Atlanta.
I mean, you got to understand that all these different ethnicities that had organized crime, they wasn't going to help the black community. You know what I'm saying?
No question.
Giving a token one on drugs on consignment to sell in the community is not helping them, right?
Right.
So a lot of these guys had to form their own relationships through the black entertainers and the political process, right? So nobody walked King into John F. K. He developed their relationship on his own, right?
Wow.
So blacks at that time was voting Republican.
That's right.
But JFK needed the Democrat vote. And he proved to be a friend to the Negro at the time. So King them decided to go with him to get the Civil Rights Bill passed and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately he was, killed, and Lyndon B. Johnson later on passed it. But that was a relationship that King formed on his own. But at the same time, flying back and forth to DC, trying to meet with JFK, people had to sponsor that, they had to eat. You know what I'm saying? Which is why you have Pascal's, which is a landmark in Atlanta, because they would feed all the civil rights guys in Atlanta.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Somebody had to sponsor that for these guys, taking all these trips. So the street guys, the street culture have always shaped the black culture. You got to think, right after civil rights, or around the time of civil rights, we went from, you had the activists in the black culture, which was on King and Malcolm and all them. But, you know what I'm saying, let's not forget at the same time, we had the pimp culture.
Right.
They're saying blacks was pimping.
Ain't no question.
They're saying had women out there. So we've always had the swagger. We've always had that.
That's
right. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was a detriment to our community or not, right? It still came from that. So the athletes and none of these people were not more popular, you know what I'm saying, than Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Muhammad Ali wanted to be like Malcolm them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He was bold in speaking out, but them guys didn't have the swagger and the dressing that the pimps will have with the furs and all that. You know what I'm saying? They were able to afford that and drive a nice Cadillac that, which made the athletes year later want to be like them.
Right.
So everything came from the street culture, man.
Right. So the street culture, really, they were the celebrities. They were the rappers back then.
Oh, absolutely. That's why people tell you in Atlanta, ain't no celebrity bigger than the people that's really from here.
Ain't no question.
That got a name for themselves, whether it's male or female, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it don't matter how much money you got. If you're real, it don't matter how much money you got. It's the respect and the influence, you know what I'm saying, that one have. And that usually come from the streets, whether it's respect or fear.
Right.
Right. So either way it go, you're gonna have that coming from the streets.
Right. And some people will say that's interchangeable.
Right. I'm just saying,
Right.
Hey, so
respect and fear.
So these guys want to be like them until the jail sentences come down.
Right.
Then they want to separate themselves. But they always want to be around the street guys. See, the street guys didn't get a seat at the table when the politicians came and had the power. They extra street guys out, because now we don't need y'all money no more.
Right.
We at we mayors now. You know what I'm saying? We governors, we all this now. We don't need your money now. Now we creating our own millionaires legitimately.
Right. Wow. That's fascinating, because one thing I know is that Atlanta has always been the most progressive city in the South. More than Alabama, more than other southern cities, Atlanta has always been on the forefront of making things happen and kind of leading the charge, the pioneers, and even today. It's like that with the music industry and everything else, business and everything. So that's really fascinating to have somebody like you, a real pioneer in Atlanta, to go back and bring that story along, tell us the history, and then through your grandfather, it goes back even further than you went to be able to, to be able to bridge that gap of knowledge to bring us from then all the way up into now. So did you? Now your grandfather was, he ran the numbers. Mm-hmm. You have that knowledge. Did you grow up poor? What is your background growing up?
By the grace of God, we didn't grow up poor, but we was born in Bowen Homes Projects. But my grandfather and grandmother was from what Atlanta was known back then, the Buttermilk Bottom.
Where's that?
Buttermilk Bottom was down there where the Civic Center is in Georgia Power. Okay. That was a projects.
Right.
So there was a mixture of Summer Hill, you know what I'm saying, in that area right there, right?
Wow, how Summer Hill's changed.
So they moved all those people to Bowen Homes.
Okay.
So that's how Bowen Homes Projects became. You know what I'm saying? They lied to them until they had a chance to move back, but they built Georgia Power and the Civic Center right there.
Right.
Moved the people out. You know what I'm saying? Gentrification, way back then, moved them out.
Right. So it's been happening.
Right. So my grandmother, she always worked for a well-to-do white family.
Okay.
And she was a hard worker. My grandfather was a number runner. By the time I was born, they had started selling beer and marijuana. And my grandfather was running numbers until they changed it. So
beer and marijuana.
Yeah. Right. So we didn't grow up poor. By them born in 1914, they always stressed education. Wow. So my path in the project was different.
Okay.
I was that kid that had to be in the house, you know what I'm saying, about 6:30 to watch Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, you know what I'm saying, to talk life.
Right.
Like my grandmother and grandfather taught me life early because they I'm saying, like, they raised me to be smart and intuitive.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So they would teach me things, but then they want me to do it.
Gotcha.
Right? So my grandmother was a heavyset woman. So once she had you know what I'm saying, too many Miller ponies at the time, they were little small Miller ponies. You know what I'm saying? She had too many, she go upstairs, she ain't coming back down.
Right.
So she'd be like, hey, Duvwon, this guy, you know what I'm saying, gonna give you a $20 bill, slide it out the screen door. She had a little cut in the screen, the burglar door. You know what I'm saying? I either take 5 ones or 5, you know what I'm saying? So she would teach me how to count big money. Not big money, but my grandmother didn't take anything over 20. So you had to give that and change. Back then they would put the weed in the aluminum foil.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So she would pass me the aluminum foil. I would take the money upstairs and, you know what I'm saying? But she would always be like, I don't want you doing this. And I didn't know what this was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What do you mean this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So as I got older,
kid.
you know what I'm saying? She would teach me that, you know, and I didn't know what it was until one day the police came to bust my grandmama's house.
Wow.
But they couldn't get in because all her windows were burglar barred in the door. And so back then, the Atlanta Police Department didn't have nothing to snatch it off. And so they had to call another district in, you know what I'm saying, to come snatch the burglar door off.
Special unit.
Right. And I watched my uncle stand up. He was like, nah, man, all this mine. You know what I'm saying? So my grandfather didn't go to jail. He took all the charges.
Oh, he took the charge.
Then my uncle was, you know what I'm saying, explaining to me like, you know what I'm saying, that's what men do. You don't let your mom and dad go to jail, man.
Right.
Like, you know. So I always had like them, you know what I'm saying, talking, telling me, you know, they going back and forth to jail, be like, hey, your grandma ain't gonna answer the phone. So when I call collect, I need you to answer this phone.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was raised like totally different, man. Like I had the game inside the house on how it's supposed to go.
Right. So you was around it.
Oh, man.
You was around that component. You had that component. You had the street knowledge. Through your grandparents, you seen it. They was instructing you like, all right, but still protecting you at the same time. So how did, you know, I know you ended up getting in the, you know, playing the streets yourself a little bit. How did that happen? And how old were you when that happened?
I was in the 6th grade. Like I said, I went to Bunch. I went cross town.
Right.
So there were some kids at Kimberly Court had a project.
I know Kimberly Court.
Right. And so one of my friends, Rick, and a guy named Toot, man, they was like, man, you from Bowen Home? They got them breakdown rocks over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can you get a hold to them?
Right.
So I was like, yeah, you know. You know what I'm saying? What y'all paying for it? And they was selling them back then for a nick was like the size of your pinky.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were paying $20. So I was like, all right, I'll get you a few. And so I started wholesaling it. Right, start wholesaling to them.
Okay.
I ain't had nothing to do with the money because I ain't had no need to buy nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying that's being managed, man. That's being managed, not understanding what crack was and
Right.
the effect of it. Because at the time,
I mean, how could you? You was in the
Because at the time, it hadn't destroyed the community yet, right?
Right.
So, and shit, man, I was 9? So I was just being managed, man. And it started from that.
Wow.
And then one day, hear my uncle them talk about this woman that smoked crack. I don't like to call nobody crackhead, but she smoked crack, and they were talking.
Suffering from substance abuse.
Right. So and
We black, everybody got one in
they
their
were talking about how
family,
good
more
her
than
sex was and head was. Me being managed, I had to go find out.
Right.
And she had an epiphany at the moment that and this goes back a lot, 'cause that was my first time ever coming. I didn't know what the hell it was doing to my body, right?
Right.
I'm jerking.
You knew it felt good.
I'm coming. And then she started crying.
Oh no.
She was like, damn, man. I remember your mom was pregnant with you, man. I'm saying? She was like, I'm fucked up. Like, I'm on this shit. Know what I'm saying? I'm sucking a little kid dick for this shit. Like, it's shit, I'm fucked up. She started crying. And so at this point, I don't know what, I'm saying? How to feel. I'm not in tune with my emotions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, at this point, I was 11. Wow. So I'm not in tune with my emotions. So when she's saying it, I didn't know what it meant. So I was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
But it stuck with you.
Oh, man. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't tell my mom. Know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell my uncle them because they'll, you know what I'm saying, be trying to blackmail me to try to steal some dope to give it to them. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't tell nobody. So
right.
I just kept it to myself, and I realized over the years it affected me. You know what I'm saying? Because what people don't understand is the addict can go get help. There's no help for the dealer, right? And when she gave me head at that moment, I'm a kid. At that moment, you ain't realize that was transactional.
That's right.
So that was my first high, because that was my first nut and my first high. So I became promiscuous.
Right. At such a young age.
Not knowing I'm chasing that same great feeling she gave me off giving me head. So I probably done had some girls that probably gave me good head, but it ain't comparing, because I'm like, man, this first time was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it became transactional, man. And it's like an addiction and a high.
At the same damn time.
Oh, at the same damn time. So it became a sex addict early. So now I want to get head and think I'm gonna get this type of feeling all the time, right? One day I fell asleep in the crack house. I'm knocked out. And the lady locked the door. And when I woke up, I come out of there, man, hours gone by. I look in the bed on the floor, rocks everywhere, money everywhere. You know what I'm saying? She was like, man, why you doing this? You ain't got to do this, man. You ain't raised like this, man. Like, man, don't be doing that, man. And I was like, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? It hit me. You know what I'm saying? She was like, you ain't no cracks. You know what I'm saying? You no crack seller. Like, you got a heart. Like, don't do that. You want to, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just being, man, I ain't gonna lie, I'm buying pizza and having sex, right? That's it.
You doing what a kid would do. You having a good time.
Hey, man, I'm having a good time, man, right? And when she told me that, it hit me, man. Then it went back to the lady, Marpet was her name. Then she told me that. Then my grandmother started hearing different stuff. And when she died in 92.
Hearing different stuff about you.
Yeah.
In the streets.
Yeah, being managed in the street, trying to sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? All the things they taught me not to do.
You was doing.
Right? And her last words was, man, we didn't raise you that way. Like, use your brain. Be smart. You're too smart to do this. Like, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? And, man, when I made her that promise in 92, stop doing it, right? Never touched it again until I go to college. And I didn't even touch it in college. So fast forward 92, some friends of mine from Morgan.
Well, let me ask you, because I want to get to the college.
I got
you said something, I know your grandparents, obviously they were outstanding people and they meant well, but you said something, because a lot of us, I think, made that mistake. I know I sure did. They didn't raise you that way, but at the same time, you, like,
Exposure.
we think the exposure. Shit. See, what we see our parents or grandparents do is more powerful than what they say. Oh, and I had to realize, like, I'm telling them don't do this and don't do that, but they looking at me and they seeing certain things that I'm doing. So what's gonna be more powerful? Actions are stronger than words.
Oh man, absolutely.
How did you end up, you were raised by your grandparents, right?
Yeah.
What happened to your parents? How did you end up being raised by your grandparents?
So my mother was a 21-year-old virgin. First time she ever had sex, she got pregnant. Her and my father were friends. Like, he from born home too, they were friends. He had a girlfriend at the time, and had sex, she got pregnant. There was no I'm saying, no discussion, I'm saying, about an abortion. Like,
Right,
I had the
especially not
baby.
back then.
Right. So she went to work one day. She said she had on a jacket. She working at Dove House. And she said she was going to the vending machine. She was trying to find some money, and she pulled out an 8-ball of crack, powder cocaine. She said 2 ladies was standing by. I was like, Sherry, what's that? She said, shit, I don't know. My mama was green. So she said, I don't know. And she said, the lady said, I give you $100 for that. She said, $100 for this little thing? She said, all right. She said, boy, I went back home and told your daddy, I don't know what that was you put in my jacket pocket, but I want to sell that right there because they ladies gave me $100. Now her whole paycheck night, no, the probably gonna be $100 for that week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Back then, she was like, oh, I want to do this. And she started selling crack cocaine, right? Started working at Dove House, started selling crack cocaine and powder, learned how to cook up the dope. And she became very good at it. And some guys knew my dad was out one night, and they kicked in the door, demanded the drugs and the money, and she wouldn't give it to him. And she saw I was in the other room, and they came in there and put the gun in the crib and was like, hey, you know what I'm saying, you don't get his money.
The crib that you was in?
So she said at that point she had no choice. And it goes back to, I think that trauma too is the reason why I have insomnia, right? Because she said I was waking up. And so I think that's why, you know what I'm saying, always been hard for me to sleep, right? And so at that point, my grandparents was like, look, you can do what you want to do, but not with this baby in the house with you. Like, we getting him, like, he coming with us.
Okay, your grandparents found out about it and they took you.
Yeah, that's how, right, that's how, yeah.
And who knows, you could have, like, I have a very good friend of mine, Dr. Cynthia Woods, and her theory is that, especially as black people, like everyone suffers trauma at some point.
Yeah.
So it's funny that because you mentioned it, you said, I don't know, maybe that affected me. You never know. Maybe when you were in that crib, that type of trauma, could have affected you even at that young age. Yeah. Okay, that's a fascinating story. I was wondering, how did you end up, being raised by your grandparents? Okay. So fast forward to college. You're in college.
So I'm in college. At this point, I'm from here, so we didn't flock to the AU Center to hang out down there. You know what I'm saying? Boy Home was his own community, so we didn't participate in Freaknik and all that. You know what I'm saying? We just did it. But the world loved Atlanta for Freaknik. So when I went to college, everybody was enamored by Atlanta. So I'm like, shit, I ain't think it was so special in the way other people seen Atlanta.
Because it was natural for you.
Right, it was natural for me. So my friends wanted to come here my sophomore year, right? We come here, I'm on the basketball court playing ball. They off over there shooting dice and talking to my friends. So lo and behold, they buy some drugs, right? One of my friends was from DC. So he was like, shit, dude, we can get $50 off this up here. It only costs $10. So of course I knew he bought it. Right. But I didn't orchestrate it. I didn't play no part of it, right? So of course this is before 9/11. We fly back. It was homecoming. We was flying back for homecoming that week. So we was gonna get a rental car. His friend from DC worked at a rental car place. So we was waiting on him, but we was waiting in the back of the rental car place where they wash the cars, you know what I'm saying, and bring them to you. Gotcha. So they brought the car, they thought we was waiting on the car. So one of the guys get a car to one of my other roommates. He get in the car and take off. We think he planned coming back. He don't come back. They call the police. Of course the guy don't say, shit, man, they didn't steal the car. I gave it to him. I didn't know. He didn't want to lose his job, I guess. He didn't say that. So the police rushed, you know what I'm saying, search everybody. Like, they didn't have no reason to search us because it wasn't reported that they put a gun on him to get the car. So why are you coming to the scene searching everybody? Right.
You were young and black, just
right. Oh no, right on. So they catch the drugs, so they, you know what I'm saying, take everybody to the station. So man, this black cop come out there and was like, hey man, you from Atlanta? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He like, hey man, you might want to own them drugs, man. He said, man, your friends are not writing a statement. So of course, like I'm fully street, you know what I'm saying, street aware. So I'm thinking he lying. Man, he lift that curtain up, them guys in there.
Holy cow.
So I said, man, I'm still like, damn, I ain't never been to jail, right? So I'm like, I ain't trying to do this shit. That's all right, man, stop him, man. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me too much stuff that happened. I'm like, damn, they saying all that.
and more.
And
everything that happened is something that didn't happen.
Because I pride myself on like sticking to the code. I wasn't gonna say, man, they had shit to do with me. They bought that shit on their own. I'm not gonna do that, right? So I said, all right, man, it's whatever, man. I'm like, damn, I can't believe it. So fast forward, we go to court, man. By the grace of God, I found a lawyer, man. I never forget his name, Charles Cockrell. I never forget his name. This is how I learned the power of relationships. Older white guy. He was friends with this judge. He was a white judge. Friends. I didn't know that. I just called the first damn number I seen.
Okay, so
in
you
the
had no
Maryland
relationship
book.
with the lawyer, but you found him.
Man, that's why I said, oh God, man. So Charles Cockrell knew the judge. He said, look, man, they got an illegal search and seizure. They didn't have a right to search y'all. However, the judge feel that because, you know what I'm saying, you on the dean's list, like you from Atlanta, like you got a projection to go to law school, like you got to take responsibility. So I'm like, what that mean? He said, you got to serve something in jail. I'm like, shit, no, I ain't trying to go to jail. Like, you already says illegal search and seizure.
Right.
I'm like, no, can we fight this?
You already said it was illegal.
He said, man, the judge, man, you know what I'm saying, I want you to take responsibility. So I was like, hell nah. Man, this is how I know. If God got something for you, not even you can mess up your life. Not even you can mess it up. Yeah. If you chosen for something, you can't even mess God's plan up.
Right.
I was throwing stones at the penitentiary, but that ain't what God had, right?
Right.
So Charles Cockrell, he never told the judge I said no. Because he wise. He wise. He know that ain't the right move. Right?
Yeah.
So I come back, I told my mom, she like, boy, you better take that. Like, you know what I'm saying? God already told me, say, man, you're in the white part of Maryland on the DC line.
Oh, man.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with that much cocaine,
right.
Like, they gonna lock you up.
Yeah,
bro.
they're not gonna play with you.
You already signed it and said it was, you know what I'm saying? You took ownership.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of why you took ownership, you took it. Even though it's illegal search and seizure, you don't want to put that in the hands of a jury, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, God damn.
They give you more than what you can handle.
I'm fighting, man. So now I'm trying to be slick. So now he was like, whenever school let out, you know what I'm saying, let him know that's when it's gonna start. So I'm pushing it to the end.
The trial?
So no, I ain't going to trial. Now I'm accepting the plea.
Okay.
So I said, all right, school out May 30th. So he said, all right, turn yourself in June 1st. You know what I'm saying? You'll be out August 10th,
school
right?
out for that term.
Boom, right? So I'm like, all right, trying to get myself mentally ready to go in. So turn myself in. So the judge was like, hey man, well, since you want to go to law school, I'm gonna give you a job in the law library. So I said, all right, cool, man, whatever, you know. Get a job in the law library.
In jail?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm going around the ECF, I was passing out books to the inmates or whatever. So I seen this book that jumped out to me that made me keep it for myself. It was called Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun by Reginald Francis Lewis. So I was like, man, what the hell this about? Then you gotta understand, it stuck out to me because when I grew up in Atlanta, white flight had already taken place.
Right.
So they left when Maynard became the mayor. So I didn't grow up seeing white folks.
Gotcha.
So I didn't have no disdain towards white folks at all because I didn't see them growing up.
Right.
Nobody white was able to tell me no or no, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't have no, you know what I'm saying, no negative connotation towards that.
Gotcha.
So it stuck out to me, right? And I'm like, the first black billionaire, I'm like, never heard of this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because Atlanta public school education sucks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't give you no world, you know what I'm saying, no world view.
Right.
So I'm reading
because
the book.
that's where all of the blacks were.
Oh,
so
you're right.
You know, they
right.
didn't have the proper educational system for the blacks.
So I'm reading the book, man. I'm like, damn, it's amazing. And then he was from Baltimore. I was in college in Baltimore. I had his family in there. He was deceased at the time, but wrote his wife a letter. She wrote back, you know what I'm saying? I used a little finesse in there.
What was his name?
Reginald Francis Lewis.
And that was a black billionaire.
Yep, Beatrice International is where he, you know what I'm saying, got his money from. He went to Harvard.
Okay.
Went to Harvard, wrote his wife a letter, said, I want to go to law school, this, and the third, I'm locked up. Here's the situation, I'm locked up because I didn't want to tell him a friend, this, and the third.
Wow.
So she was like, when you get out, come see me. So.
Was you surprised when she wrote back?
Yeah, of course. Right. I didn't think that would probably still be their address, you know what I mean? Right. So rewind this a little bit. So because I registered late for college, I didn't get a dorm. So I had to move in this house. And I had got a gun legally in my name to move into the house.
Okay.
And then when I went to jail, because I was moving, doing some things in college, and people know, and when they found out I was locked up for the summer, they went in the house, broke in the house, right? My gun was stolen. Wow. I wasn't able to report the gun stolen. However, while I'm locked up, before I get out, there was a murder in Baltimore with the gun.
Oh, man.
So listen, this is why I said you can't mess up God's plan. Had I not been locked up, and that murder would have took place with that gun in my name, and I'm in Atlanta living my life.
It would have been on you.
With no damn, no alibi, because I wouldn't know I needed one.
Right.
The murder would have been on me.
Wow.
So Baltimore detectives come the day I'm getting out. I'm ready to go home. I ain't never been locked up. I'm locked up. I'm ready to go home. Even though it wasn't no bad time, I'm ready to go home though.
Right.
Man, Baltimore detectives said, you come with us.
For what?
Mother said murder. I said murder? Man, you mean murder? I've been locked. What you mean murder? So they knew that I was locked up during the time of the murder.
Gotcha.
They just want to play their games they play. Man, they transport me from down DC to Baltimore. I'm like, damn, y'all talking about murder. So now my heart, I'm like, murder. But I still know I ain't murdered nobody. So I'm like, what y'all talking about, man? Get up there. Oh, this gun belong to you, this damn thing. Why you didn't report the gun stolen? Man, y'all know I've been locked up. Come on, man. Like, what you mean? So as when it, know what I'm saying? Once he told me to a place, I'm relaxing. I'm like, man, please, what are y'all doing, man?
Right.
And so they still try to charge me with possession of the gun. I said, how? I never had the gun on me. What do you mean, possession of the gun? Right, I was locked up. It was in the house when it was stolen. At some point, did you ever take it to campus? I said, look, bro, come on, they charge me, right? Go to court, judge.
Oh, they actually charged you?
Oh, man, with possession of the gun, man. Go to court, man, judge look at it. I'm defending myself now in court. I'm like, Your Honor, come on, man. Man, dismissed it. That's what I learned too, man. Like, man, we get railroaded so easy, man. So easy,
Drop of a
man.
hat.
Oh, man, so easy, man. And if you don't know how to speak up for yourself, and man, I just think God just give you the confidence and the boldness, right? If you don't have that, man, I'm just saying. And I think, you know what I'm saying, the number one weapon plays a part is common sense. The common sense is our number one weapon.
It is, but let me ask you this. You worked in a law library. Do you think that maybe the confidence, the knowledge that you got, some of the common sense that you got, did some of that come from working in the law library?
No, because you got to think, I was raised because my grandparents and my mother sold drugs. Okay. I was raised at the age of 6.
Okay. So you was already smart.
You don't see nothing. You don't hear nothing. You don't volunteer no information. You don't answer nothing. Like, no. Like, I was always raised like that. You don't see it. You don't hear it. You know what I'm saying? Never let nobody come, yes, man. You just say, hey, did you see that? You know, I was raised like that, man. So I'm still like that in a way. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It affects sometimes you're dealing with women because I don't volunteer nothing.
Right.
I don't say nothing. Like,
know.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like that. And so me going there, and once I knew the murder happened while I was locked up, nah, man, common sense, hey, man, I ain't got nothing to do with me. This need to be dismissed. Because I done seen it so many times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you got to think, I graduated high school in 94. I didn't go to college in 97. So that's 30 years of me roaming the free world in the streets. So I'm seeing everything now. I'm aware now. I'm not a kid no more. I'm a young teenager, but I'm not a kid.
Right.
So I'm seeing things and hearing things. So that, you know what I'm saying, that law always been my thing. Like, I used to sit home and watch Perry Mason and Matlock all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like, all day long for real. So I just knew that, man, you know what I'm saying, this got to be dismissed. Like, hey, man, this got to be dismissed. Like, they ain't got nothing on me.
Okay.
Like, I didn't have the gun. I was locked up. This got to be dismissed.
Right.
And I said I was in court, and I already knew don't write no statement, you know what I'm saying, let them record you. And that's the first thing that the judge asked him. Do y'all have recorded statement of saying that he was on campus toting his gun? No. Oh, well, case dismissed.
Right.
So I learned then hands-on, like in the midst, man. And there's no lie, when I went to court on it, man, the judge said, no, the DA said, oh, Your Honor, we're ready to offer him 5 years served, 3. He just got out of jail for crack cocaine, this, that, and the third. Man, my stomach dropped. There's no lie. I said, oh, I said, y'all, I gotta get something to drink. They said, follow him out to make sure he don't run. I said, woo. She said it, I was like, damn. I swear to God, I don't know what was it. Man, I drank that water. I came back like Johnny Cochran.
Right.
Hey, Your Honor, no, this, that, and the third. No, it's a case dismissed. Right. I just learned then, man. But go back, my mom always taught me, hey, son, do things by yourself.
Right.
You ain't gonna never tell on you.
Right. Exactly.
She always told me, you too loyal. You know what I'm saying? Your friends will get you killed or in jail because you ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I learned that day, like, damn, mama, you told me.
She knew.
Oh, no, man.
Because the loyalty comes from having a good heart. So you had a good heart. You didn't want to hurt one of your friends, but obviously you learned through life that they didn't feel, most of the time they're not going to be the same as you. Yeah. They'll hurt you at the drop of a hat, in a flash. So you had a friend, you had a special friend. that indirectly had a positive influence on your life of some sort, right? Tell me about that friend. Didn't you have a friend that was an athlete or something like that?
Oh yeah, Jamal Lewis. So when
Jamal Lewis?
Right. So,
okay, I saw the back. So Jamal Lewis was your friend.
Yeah, so he gets drafted.
Yeah.
He get drafted to the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
In the 2000 draft.
Right.
I'm a junior at this time. And he knew I didn't smoke or drink. So he had already, I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? So when he got drafted, I did call him draft night, like, damn, boy, you know I'm in school up here, like, okay. I mean, at that point, I just want to go to some games, right? Be able to take some girls to some games and just, you know what I'm saying, just play like that.
Right.
And he had failed a drug test, I didn't know it.
Okay.
So he came looking for me. Everybody was like, hey, man, your friend on campus looking for you. He came like 2 days looking for me. And then he finally caught me, and he was like, you know what I'm saying? He played me like a chick, you know what I'm saying? Picked me up, we went out to eat. You know what I'm saying? Took me to the mall. And then he hit it on me like, hey, bro, shit, man, you know what I'm saying? What you got going on? Like, you want to come move in? And shit, you know what I'm saying? That's me here, like, you know. So we're friends. So I'm like,
right.
Shit, yeah, I get to go to games, you know what I'm saying, and travel and, you know what I'm saying, do other things.
Right,
like, no, I'm not like with these girls, right?
Right.
So he ain't know nobody up there, right?
Right.
So all the girls that I couldn't get, because they probably thought they were too bougie or whatever, I put them on him. I knew they were going to talk to him. He a millionaire. Right. He had this sign for $40 million.
Yeah.
Right. So, man, we had so much fun. But he got caught in some trouble here. Back before he got drafted, there was an undercover FBI informant dancing at the Gentleman Club.
Wow.
And so there was a guy from my project that was a kingpin that was on the case, and two of my childhood friends that was on the case. So the girl was an informant, and two of them slept with her. And Jamal's role was he told her that he knows somebody that can buy the keys. But because he ain't no street dude, she told him he can make $5,000 to $8,000 hand to hand. You from the street, you ain't making no $5,000 to $8,000 hand to hand.
Right.
Right? He didn't know no better. Instead of him saying, shit, I'm finna get drafted, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Wanted to show out for the chick, you know, that she was pretty, put himself in it, you know what I'm saying, and come back. And so his friend that had been to the feds before told him that, man, you know, Moolah gonna choose loyalty with them guys he grew up with in Boyne Home. Like, oh, man, you might need to, you know what I'm saying, watch out for him. Like, he gonna choose them. But I had nothing to do with that shit. I was in college when it happened. I had nothing to do with that. So one day, the girl called the house. And she was like, hey, Jamal there. I'm like, nah, he's asleep. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, who is this? When she said it, it froze me. I'm like, who the hell is this? So she started saying stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I lied. I was like, no, I don't know them. She said, yes, y'all grew up together. You stayed across the yard from this guy. You spent night with this guy for a whole year.
She knew your whole background.
I said, what the? They knew my whole background, man. This is I learned that. I don't care what people say about the Fed. Until you in that belly of the beast, you know for yourself. Man, she spit everything about me, my mama, everything. And I was like,
how the fuck she know that?
I ain't go to the phone like, what the fuck she know? She called back. Hey, you know that's obstruction, right? I'm like, oh man. Shit, right? So now I'm like, all right, man, whatever. So I'm like, what's up?
Did she introduce herself as a you know, so there's not really obstruction because you didn't know she was a law enforcement, right? So she asked to put him on the phone. At that point, hey, bro, you need to get on the phone. You need to get on that phone and talk to this lady, man. She know what she's talking about.
So, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know they was in this trouble, though, right? I didn't know they was in this trouble, though. So I gave him the phone, they talked. Then his agent called and was like, hey, man, you need to get in touch with this guy and tell this guy to stop calling Jamal. You know what I'm saying? All this is going down like the trial, like they finna, you know what I'm saying? They finna go to trial on it. So in 2001, this is funny because it goes into BMF.
Oh, wow.
You know, BMF tried to come here years ago.
Right.
Meech got into it with Danny Boy them that's from the West Side.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Boy them get caught up in his West Side suite. The West Side suite happened in the spring of 2001.
Okay.
Right? I was supposed to graduate 2001. But because Jamal done won the Super Bowl that year, I went to Tampa. Man, this probation officer, man, prejudiced guy, man, racist guy. I'm gonna say racist guy, man. He violates me. See me at the Super Bowl and say I didn't check in and give him the paperwork asking, you know what I'm saying, could I go to Tampa? I had never been locked up before. I didn't know that I was supposed to do. I didn't know I was supposed to do, right? So I'm okay with I gotta pay for my ignorance. I still just don't feel that, hey man, it's not a new charge. I went out of town, bro, to a game.
Went out of town and didn't report.
And listen, the reason
you didn't ask for permission.
Reason why I say he was petty and racist because I tried to give him a Ray Lewis autograph and Jamal Lewis. This motherfucker told me no. I said, what?
But now, let me ask you this. Of course he was racist. I get that. and this is just my own curiosity. This was after the Super Bowl, right?
That's Super Bowl.
So this was after Ray Lewis had got caught up with the thing that happened in Buckhead, which is the reason why they closed the nightclubs earlier, because they had the murder that they tried to say that Ray Lewis was a part of, right?
Yeah.
Were you with that entourage that night?
No, because Jamal wasn't there at that point.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? The year before, Jamal got drafted. So Ray Dem was down here that January of 2000.
Okay.
So Jamal get drafted April of 2000.
Okay.
Ray already is off that. Okay. So when Jamal did, Baltimore had a snowstorm that year, and we had to stay with Ray 2 years. And we used to talk like it changed his whole life. Like he didn't go out that whole year.
Wow.
He brought the party to him. He didn't go out that whole year, man. It changed his whole life, changed his family life. Like he was real, like down with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he was down bad. Like it, no, it changed his whole life though. Changed his whole life.
Right. It's funny how growth can happen in a number of different ways.
Man, like you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said once again, man, I believe wholeheartedly when God got something for you, even you can't mess it up, right? So there are some things that I think that Ray got to face and go through. That wasn't what God had for him at that time, right? You have to be like God knows everything, right? And it's in His perfect timing, like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't think that was His time.
Okay.
But spending time with them up there, really getting to see some things, and staying with Jamal that's able to just see, like being there every day, watching him get his check every day. The dude would bring home $368,000 every Tuesday.
Wow.
Right, $5 million signing bonus, $368,000 every Tuesday, right? That just from the NFL. That didn't count his Reebok money, or none of his endorsement, right? For being on Madden. I mean, them checks used to flow in, and just having nothing to do with just being young and rich, no kids, no responsibilities, not being aware that this ain't gonna be around all the time, and putting the money up and doing certain things. So I was able to just watch, like, damn, this how I go. And he could have lost it all, but his owners at the time had just took over the Baltimore Ravens. They were billionaires. And you got to think, this dude just won Rookie of the Year, won Super Bowl. You think they finna let him go to federal prison?
Right.
Hell no. So they gave him 6 months probation.
He was their boy.
They gave him 6 months, you know what I'm saying, probation for cooperation.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there, and my dude was like, man, you need to go to the practice field. Put Jamal on this goddamn phone. So I grew up with the dude, you know what I'm saying? So I did him a solid. Man, when they put him and Jamal on the phone, I ain't know what he was gonna say to the nigga. He tell him they got somebody at his mama house. You know what I'm saying? When he flew down for a Reebok thing, he stayed at Hotel Nico here by Lennox.
Right.
Man, 2 dudes outside the hotel followed him all night. He was scared. And so I'm like, man, what the hell am I into, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. I was in college when all this shit happened.
Right.
And so, but the dude was just like, hey man, like he know what me and him talked about, like he wasn't standing down. And then so
that's crazy.
Most of the NFL security is like
FBI agents and stuff
FBI
like that.
Agent, whatever, right?
Security.
So the dudes came to the house and was like, how well you know these guys? I'm like, look, I don't know these guys. I grew up with these guys. I mean, these guys was older. They ain't like we the same age. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know. So they was like, yeah, you just, you know what I'm saying? You just had a similar situation where, you know what I'm saying, you taking up for your guy, like you like taking up for people, huh?
Right.
So I'm like, look, man, I ain't taking up for nothing. I don't know. You can ask, you know what I'm saying, Jamal. I went at the gentleman club when they were there. Like, shit, I went there. The girl can't put me out of a lineup. I was never there with them with that girl, you know. And so I just learned then, like, man, it just changed, like, how I viewed loyalty. And I just stopped putting myself in situations where I knew dudes were weak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
and selfish.
I'm not gonna give up my freedom for you if you're not willing to do it for me. And what am I doing it for? You ain't gonna be there for me. You know what I'm saying? Just that third. So what changed that is when the dude violated me in March. I was supposed to graduate in May. Violated me in March. You know, it was early March 3rd, never forget. And the judge was just like, man, it's a violation. I'm like,
this is a probation violation.
I'm like, what the fuck, man? I ain't did nothing. But they violated me, man.
Wow.
I wanted to crack. I just wanted to graduate it. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And then, so when I wrote Reginald Francis Lloyd wife a letter,
okay, we
used to talk. She helped me get a partial scholarship to Harvard.
Wow.
But because
Harvard Law?
So this is why I tell people, man, coming from the projects, I didn't grow up poor financially, but resource I did. I didn't know shit about Harvard, and because I didn't know, I didn't care. I did not know. I didn't know to care. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Nobody went to Harvard, bro. On TV, it was Hillman. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't Harvard and these other Ivy League schools. They was promoting black college.
Right.
So I didn't know enough to care about it. So by him violating me, it canceled my partial scholarship to Harvard, right? Because I didn't graduate in 01.
Right.
And at that point, all Harvard seen was a violation. They didn't care about the nuances of the violation.
Right.
So I missed that opportunity, right? So by the time the courts tried to square it away, they put me in this pre-release program for me to catch the train from DC to Baltimore. But at that point, I had missed a month of classes. And so I fell one class short of graduating. But rewind that, in March, the judge said, if Jamal Lewis speak up and say that you went to the Super Bowl with him and he will take ownership of you, we'll put you on a monitor, you can go to school from his house, you just gotta be in the house on house arrest.
He didn't speak up?
Oh,
man.
The day the judge said that, he started answering the phone. I called him 2 days. At that point, I'm begging you, bro, to do something you should be doing anyway.
Yeah, help me out.
Right?
Same way I tried to help
helped
you.
out. Listen, I helped him out all year. I'm pissing for him. Like, that's why I say he failed a drug test. This is why he wanted me to stay there. He failed a drug test. He knew I didn't drink or smoke. So I didn't find out the one day, who is it? NFL. All right, NFL, what do you mean NFL? I'm a drug test guy. Jamal, like, get away from the door, get away from the door. Like, he said, hey, I need you to pee in this cup. I found out on the moment.
Oh, man.
In the moment, I found out, hey, man, I need your piss.
That quick, you throw it on your feet and helped out your man.
So I'm a Gemini, man. My sixth sense kick in. I said, oh, this what he want me for. This why he need me, right? Cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so fast forward, he ain't speak up for me to get me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing sick shit. I'm in jail. You know what I'm saying? I say that, and I'm like, my man could have signed me out. Like,
that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And then once again, I got to be loyal to a situation, meaning that I can't badmouth him to other people because I'm just living with him last year.
Right.
We done won the Super Bowl. We kicking it. And now I can't go back and say, man, fuck him. He ain't shit. He ain't did this for me. I ain't that type of dude anyway. But other people, they're like, nah, he cool, man. You know. Even street dudes back home, I still didn't badmouth him because I didn't want.
You learn from it.
I didn't want no pressure put on him and people saying that I did it or no. I said, I got people in Atlanta. I got people in my project, man, that love me.
Right. I can feel it.
And when people love you, sometimes your problem can be their problem. Like, hey,
Right.
man, you got an issue.
Right.
So
They're
I
really
wanted
willing to do something to that dude.
I wanted him to be able to move around freely
Right.
without
Just
it
give me a
being
reason. Say the word.
Right, no pressure, man. So I was just like, cool, right? I always had to be the bigger guy for that. You know what I'm saying? Even as a kid with other projects, hey, man, it don't make no sense for 200 of us to jump on 4 of them because y'all don't go nowhere. I go to other projects and play ball. I'm gonna be the one getting that ass whooping, not y'all.
Right.
So I can't condone us jumping on 2-3 dudes, and for what? You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't lead the projects. I do. I'm gonna get my ass whooped, not y'all, right? So I ain't never sanctioned that. I always be like, nah, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that left a bad taste in my mouth, man, that I could have got out and I would have graduated.
Right.
Had he said, yeah, day one, I'd have graduated 01, right? But once again, man.
God's plan, right? When God
Amen,
is with you, who
God.
can be against you. So
Amen,
you ended up doing time.
Yeah, man, 6 months this time.
Right.
6 months this time, man.
How much did you do the first time?
Shit, 2 months because I pushed it back a month and said school got out later than what it really did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this time it was 6 months violation,
Right.
man.
So would you say the second time was worse than the first? Just because everything you had, I don't know, just the point.
Oh yeah, because it was mentally
was behind you.
It was more mental this
Right.
time. Even my first time getting locked up, right? It was still mental, but this time, in my mind, I could have been free had this guy that spoke up to me.
Right.
Like, damn, man, we've been friends since '94. We've been friends since I was in the 9th grade and the 12th grade. We've been friends. Like, you had no reason to leave me in there, bro. Like, this is jail, bro. I'm due to graduate. Like, I ain't scared of the jail, but bro, I got a lot at stake.
Right. Did you feel like you let a lot of people down? Did you feel like you let yourself down? Or
Hell nah, man. I went to the Super Bowl. I didn't go out here and catch a new charge.
Right.
I went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
You
really
violated me
on
in the Super Bowl. So when I see other people like the meat meal stuff over the years with his probation officer and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So when I see stuff, I'm like, hey, I know how I feel because I was violated, you know what I'm saying, for something small, like not even a new charge.
Did they lock you up in court that day?
Hell yeah.
So do you remember that? Take me back to that day. What was your mind frame?
I'm thinking the judge gonna be like, cause the judge already, you gotta think the judge already wrote me a letter of recommendation for law school when I got locked up the first summer, right? Like, no time, he gave me a PBJ,
right?
A probation before judgment. Wrote me a letter, said, hey man, if you're gonna go to law school, man, I'm gonna write you a letter. You know what I'm saying? When you graduate, you know what I'm saying, you're off probation, I'm gonna write you a letter for law school. And as Ms. Lewis' wife, you know what I'm saying, helped me got the partial, they wrote the judge. The judge did his part. Oh man, he's a fine young man. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunate, you know what I'm saying, situation that really wasn't his. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted him to take ownership. You know what I'm saying? Like, he explained it all. So this time, I'm like, man, hey, man, we're talking about going to the Super Bowl. We're not talking about... So he thought he was softening the blow by saying, oh, well, if you can get your friend to sign, you know what I'm saying? You can go, man. I'm going to let you go to him. So he thought he was softening the blow, and even still, he still tried to soften the blow by letting me go to the pre-release center and let me... catch the train and go to school. Like, he thought he was still trying to help me. Like, hey man, I'm not gonna interfere with your education. Like, so that was Milton itself, right? Kicking it with my friends at school. Damn, I gotta catch the train back and go back into jail. You know what I'm saying? Go back. Like, so all that was mental at this point.
Right.
All that was mental, man. And I wouldn't have to be going through this, man. He just would have stayed solid with me, signed me out, man. Like, damn, I could have been going to school and going home every day.
Right. Well, talking about the mental, what type of, or did you go through any transitions or any mental growth while you were in there? Did you, while you were in there? Did you? I mean, I know.
Yeah, the second time. Yeah, the second time, right? Because
did you make any determinations on how you might have changed things to make sure you don't end up in this predicament again?
All the stuff my uncle and cousin prepared me for, right? Telling me about jail, this, that, and the third. You got to go in there to see it. You know what I'm saying? So you just learn respect. It's about respect. You know what I'm saying? Not like walking in front of television, people watching it.
Right.
Whether you don't like what they watching, they, you know what I'm saying? They watching it first.
Right. You can get killed over that.
If a person tell you they need to use the phone when you get through, don't try to click, you know what I'm saying? Don't try to click, you know what I'm saying? Make another call.
Right. You can get your head knocked off.
Hey, bro, a lot of stuff in rule. Like I tell people, man, people get, you know what I'm
saying? That phone and that TV, fastest way to get killed or gambling deaths.
Hey, man, people get hurt in jail, man, because of respect, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. You got to have that. And I was taught that, and I was able to see it. And so there's different thing, like you said with the gambling. Hey man, you can't cover that bet. You know what I'm saying? You think it's a sure bet. Your ass lose that bet, you in trouble.
Right.
Don't do it, right?
Quarterback might break his ankle.
And then you get comfortable playing spades, get to talking shit.
Right.
Hey man, you're still in jail, man. You need to pipe that down, you know.
That's right.
So there's different rules I just learned just watching shit, man. So it's a lot I just learned. And I just like, man, because I always felt like, man, I don't belong in jail for this, man. But I was able to talk to a lot of guys in prison, understand where they was coming from, and how they got railroaded also. And some guys couldn't read and got caught that way, couldn't read the letters and stuff. Guys working in the kitchen that just needed a break almost. You know what I'm saying? So there's different things, man, that I was able to see the second time.
Okay.
Because the first time went by so fast.
Right.
So the second time I was just able to marinate and talk to a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? Really learn the culture of the, you know what I'm saying, of the jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you think, did you make any determinations or did any of this carry over where you was going to take, I mean, obviously we all take what we learn and it comes with us. What I'm interested in knowing is how did some of this transition to when you got out? Any changes that you might have made, things that you might have been different, that you might have made a determination while you were in there that you're going to do differently when you get out? How are you going to utilize that? How are you going to make, affect others? And tell me about that. If you made any of those type of changes, what were you thinking the day you came out? Because most people remember the day they went in and the day they came home, right? 2 days that you remember. Yeah. The day that you go in and the day that you come home. Everything else in between, it's your family members and loved ones. They remember every single day that you was in there. But a lot of times, it's just a blur for us.
So I replayed back when my grandmother asked me to make that promise, and even though I knew my friend had bought the cocaine and was going to transport it, I should have put a stop to it, right? And then when I got out the first time, I vowed to God that I'd never be around or touch crack cocaine ever again, because I knew at that point he probably would have spanked me to no return. Like, all right, I'm going to show you then. You're making these promises and you think you're going to keep. You know what I'm saying? So when I got out this last time, it was about a loyalty thing because I felt, that Jamal was disloyal. And I was just like, never again would I be giving dudes my loyalty and I'm not getting it back. Because the signs be there, right? The signs be there.
Ain't no question.
Right? And I'm a firm believer is on how Eric treat this person is who the true person Eric is, right?
That's right.
He might treat me different for whatever reason, but the true character of a person, how you treat this person.
That's right.
That can't do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? You can't get nothing back from them,
No
right?
question.
I think that's the true character of a person. So the signs be there, right? Sometimes we overlook it for whatever reason. And I just decided that, you know what I'm saying, that was gonna be the end of me trying to straddle the fence, you know what I'm saying, the street, you know what I'm saying, over here. But I didn't have it figured out over here yet, right? I knew what's the consequences from the street side, but from the legal side, I ain't know where to go.
Right.
So when I was graduating the next year, a classmate of mine from Doug, his little brother was getting ready to go first round draft pick out of UGA basketball.
Okay.
Jarvis Hayes. So I got my sports agent license. I read up on it, got my sports agent license. And he was the top 10 pick in the same draft as Melo, LeBron, and all them.
Okay.
Jarvis went number 10 that year, and we represented him. And
So you became a sports agent?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because law school was off the table. I didn't know what to do that. Law school off the table. And then the next year, because LeBron knew a street dude that was my business partner, his uncle did time with Maverick Carter dad.
Okay.
And so when LeBron would come to Atlanta, right, we would go out. So LeBron put us in with this guy named Jared Jack. Jared Jack was a point guard at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech had just went to the national championship his freshman year. So LeBron introduced us. You know what I'm saying? We had Jared Jack on a $3,000 a month allowance. So when it's time for Jared Jack to go pro, his parents wanted to meet us. So I flew up there, but I told him don't invite my partner. No, I'm saying, he a real street dude, had money, but a real street dude.
Right.
I said, don't invite him. But young kids are always gonna listen to the people with the money.
Ain't no question, that's an influence.
Lo and behold, bro, we sit down in his parents' living room. What do you think the worst thing could have happened?
No, don't tell me some crazy happened, some type of police action or something like that. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen. I know, surely that couldn't have happened.
We sit in the living room, we talking. His mother said, no. So my partner walk in. I said, how the hell you get the conversation over with? The partner walk in. His mama say, well, Mr. Walden Davis, nice to meet you. He come in with his chain, his bracelet on, his watch, necklace. I'm so looking like a dope boy. This man got older parents. His mama say, well, Jared couldn't tell y'all this, but I work for the CIA.
Holy cow.
And there's no way I can let my son sign with y'all because Mr. Davis, you're a drug dealer. Your father's in the feds for crack cocaine.
She told him that to his face?
You're a drug dealer. You was charged with attempt murder this year. You do XYZ. I'm like, what? I'm like, God, you can't be kidding me.
You can't make this up.
So this is no lie, man. This is no lie. Trying to sign an athlete is like dating a woman.
We got to go a little bit over, y'all. All right.
It's like dating a woman. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of, going out.
Wait, say that again?
According to the athlete, trying to sign him is like dating a woman.
Okay.
You got to spend that time with him because you don't want nobody else to try to get him.
Right.
Spend that time with him.
You got to go through their emotions.
Man, trying to take the money. So I'm in the gym with him every day. He's shooting shots. I'm doing everything with him, right? We getting ready to sign him. And when that happened, man, there's no lie. Like, I'm 100% healthy right now. Man, when that happened, I got sick because I counted my eggs for a hatch. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to make $2.5 million off that. That day, right? I broke down, man. Body, ultimately, I broke down. And I told him, I used to always tell him, bro, you gotta learn how to be a silent partner. You can't. And man, when that happened, man, when his mama said that, why he had to come, man? When his mama said that, I'm like, Jack, told you don't invite this guy. Why would you do that, bro?
She did her background.
So the mom was like,
what's your name?
So the mom was like, Duvwon, you just graduated. You ain't got no money to be giving my son $3,000 a month. I know it's coming from him. You ain't got no money, as a matter of fact.
She read the whole situation. She knew you were solid. She knew you had this drug dealer with you.
Man, she was just hoping he wouldn't come. You know what I'm saying? I was able to separate it when he wasn't there. Like, oh, no, Miss Jack, you know. She probably thought I was lying, but she couldn't really. Oh, man, she
brought him to the house.
Hey, man.
This drug dealer in her house.
Hey man,
Raised by a drug dealer in prison or murderer, right?
Listen, it broke me down. It killed that from the NBA side,
I
right?
believe it.
Now here's how God work again. So from next year, because Pac-Man is from Atlanta.
All right, Pac-Man Jones, no question.
Boat Rock Projects.
Okay. You had a relationship with Pac-Man also.
Listen, he getting ready to go pro. Boom, turn him on to my man once again because I ain't had the money to take care of him. Pac won like $250,000. I ain't had no money.
Right.
My man take care of that, right? We signed him, we partnered with this other agent. We out in LA working out. The agent died. He died, had a heart attack, just died. Gary Richard, he died. So I'm like, what the hell going on? So Pac-Man ended up going number 5 overall. Same draft slot Jamal went. That's what I'm saying. God is Deja. Hey, man. So anyway, Pac-Man go number 5 overall. We structured a Reebok deal. We getting ready to get paid because the game is on a Sunday. We supposed to get paid from Reebok Monday or Tuesday. Pac-Man scored a touchdown in first game. This fool slide down the pole, Spider-Man. He's so happy. His legs in the air. Motherfucker got on Nike cleats. Signed with Reebok.
Oh, man. Come on, Pac-Man.
And because he's a top draft pick and he scored,
right.
ESPN kept running this shit. So Reebok seen it like, hold up. This motherfucker got on Nike
fool
shit.
Crazy?
Is he that crazy? Motherfucker, we paying you and you spatting up and they catch the Nike check. I'm sitting here like, God damn, that was $180,000 we supposed to split the next day.
Man.
So I'm like, God, come on, what you doing, right? Fast forward later, they get on a shooting at Vegas strip club. Because Pac-Man was there, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a football fan.
They tried to say that, you know what I'm saying, he ignited the crowd or whatever. And the young lady got shot in the back, got paralyzed. Next year, the NFL changed their rules. But now you got to be a lawyer to be an agent.
Wow.
So I'm like, God closing all these doors. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, man, what I'm gonna do? I didn't know what to do at that time. One of the older guys that ran numbers with my grandfather was like, hey man, there's a guy that it don't look like it right now, but he's gonna be the next mayor. He needs your help. Because he needs some street people to come out and vote on the west side of Atlanta. He needs your help.
Who was it?
Kasim Reed.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Wow, so you're the.
So I go to Kasim. I said, look, man, Mom said, we don't know each other. You know what I'm saying? I heard you're gonna be the next man. He was like, shit, man, I can't raise no money. I'm dead last. I said, but they said you're gonna win. I said, listen, I'm gonna give you my help. I said, when you win, if I ever need a job, you know what I'm saying, just keep your word, give me a job. He looked me in my eye and said, solid. I said, now you ain't got enough money to pay me what I want. I said, but my friends that's gonna hit the streets for you, you gotta pay them. I said, I can't speak for them. I said, you gotta pay them. I asked all my friends in front of his staff, what do y'all want if he win? Because I don't want nobody saying, damn man, like, no, damn man, you done got on, you didn't help us get on. Nope. Hey, what? Speak for yourself. I invited all of them in the room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want that $150 a day. I ain't want no $150 a day, right? So fast forward, he win. You know what I'm saying? That's how I get into politics. He kept his word.
I love it.
I had another situation where a friend got caught with the feds. I was supposed to be there. He took the feds on a high-speed chase. They flipped his ass, locked him up. He never got out.
Wow.
He got 17 years that day. Not that day, but you know, off that situation, he got 17 years.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, you know the feds go out points. I said, oh shit, I'm glad I wasn't there. Because he was lying to me to get me to ride with him. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm saying that's why I say God's plan, because at the time that he was calling my phone, there's no lie, he called my phone in real time. The police at my house, I'm arguing with them because I can't find my ID, asking me for some ID. I get into it, one of the young cops, he's so scared because he's young. He's so scared because my friend's there. This motherfucker locked me up. Said, I need to detain you because your friends keep looking at you. I'm like, bro, y'all chill because he's scared. I don't want them motherfuckers to shoot me. So as he detaining me, he stopped calling me. So he detained me, running stuff. So when I get done with him, he done hit the news because he's on a high-speed chase.
Right.
Everybody think I'm with him.
Right.
So I'm like, I couldn't even get to my phone because the guy like, don't answer the phone while we run your stuff. Man, God saved me that day, man. The next day I called the mayor and said, hey, I want a job.
Okay, that's the perfect segue. That's the perfect segue. So you're a real unique individual, and I like it because no matter how much adversity, these stories that you have told me from the beginning of your life, you talked about a lot of adversity, but you managed to every single time, you took adversity and turned it into triumph. And then you continually give that credit back to God. Obviously, you're a God-fearing man. You keep saying it was God's plan, so you understand that. So you said, okay, the next day you call Kasim Reed, who's the mayor, you help him get in there. That's how you got into politics. What are you doing now in politics? Let everybody know that's out there listening to you. What you doing now? Because this is critical now. This, something's coming up in November. You gotta let them know.
Yeah. So I'm running for city council, post 3 at large. Everybody who live in the city of Atlanta can vote for this seat. It's on the presidential ballot. It will be the last thing on the ballot. So I ask that you, whoever you vote for president, scroll down that ballot and vote for Duvwon Robinson for city council.
Duvwon Robinson for city council. All right, another question for you. What can it explain to people that might not know the inner workings of government? What does the city council do? Why do you want to run for city council? And how are you going to help the people? Because listen, anybody listening to you today, anybody that knows you, anybody that hears this story, it's obvious to me if it's not obvious to y'all. This brother right here wants to help people. You want to make an impact on others. You've been doing that your whole life. You're a relationship type of person. You're a master networker. People believe in you. People trust you. You're a high integrity guy. You're loyal to a fault. Why do you want to run for city council? And in what ways are you going to be able to give back when you win this seat on city council?
So once again, when you talk about being in poverty from a resource standpoint, city council has millions of dollars in their budget for certain things. You have 15 council members, right? And a council president. So it don't matter
15 councilors and a council president.
Right, which is 16 total.
16 total. And it's the city of Atlanta?
Yeah, city of Atlanta.
What city of Atlanta? When people looking for it on the board?
all over city of Atlanta.
City of Atlanta.
So it doesn't matter what the mayor do or try to do, right?
You said it's the third member. What you say? Your 16th council? I mean, city council, third member. What did you say?
No, post 3 at large.
Post 3 at large. Okay.
So you got 12. So you have 12 council members.
Okay.
Know what I'm saying, for each district.
Right.
You have 3 post at large members. You got to post 1, post 2, and post 3, which give you 15 council members.
You're post 3 at large.
And the city council president give you 16.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's a tie, whatever, with them and an untimed vote, the city council president has the untimed vote. If the mayor died today, city council president step in and assume that role tomorrow.
So that's the succession plan.
Right.
Wow, you just told me something. I didn't know that. That's the succession plan to the mayor.
All right.
Wow.
However, no city council president have ever been the mayor, right?
Okay.
It's supposed to be that, but none of them have ever been, right?
All right. But has the mayor ever died while they was?
No.
Okay, well, that's,
No.
all right.
No, I'm just saying, no city council president has ever won the mayor seat after they ran for mayor seat.
I got you.
Right, it ain't never tried. So it doesn't matter who the mayor is. If you got 8 strong council members, they can veto and go against the mayor, right?
Wow.
So city council can have absolute power, right?
If you got
Right, they jail together.
That vote got you.
Right, so
Okay.
city council make the laws. It's the governing body of City Hall.
They're legislators.
So when you talk about Atlanta shut down because of BMF at a certain time, who you think made that change No, you said Ray Lewis.
That murder. Yeah.
Who do you think made the change in the law that Atlanta shut down at 3 o'clock now?
Well, now I guess it was city council.
No, city council made that change.
Yeah, I didn't know.
When you're dealing with liquor license, city council made that
Okay.
change. To come up with different grants and stuff to help small business, city council them vote on the budget. Right?
Gotcha.
So city council make a lot of laws when you talk about the infrastructure, the roads and everything, grants and loans. Like city council come up with that. Female initiative help, small women business own, mail loan. Like city council does that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
They vote on that. They come up with that.
Wow.
So they have a lot of power. And so for me, because I come from public housing, right?
Right.
I'm a strong advocate in helping the young youth see a better way. Like we got Microsoft and Google here in Atlanta, right?
Right.
But nobody's going to them saying, hey, what about these young black kids? They need jobs. Forget about laptops. We don't want you donating no daggone laptops. The 2 biggest tech companies in the world is right here. We don't have young black kids getting real internships and job opportunity when they graduate. We failing them. Like, we failing. Like, we can't have that. We can't say we the black mecca, but none of these kids getting real entrepreneurship.
Right.
Like, we sending 15 and 16-year-olds to a damn park and rec facility. You know what I'm saying? To babysit kids. That ain't no way of life. Like, they should be, you know what I'm saying? They should be dreaming higher than that.
That's right.
I'm not saying nothing wrong with being a park and rec counselor. Somebody got to do it. But we don't want to project that as a career path to a 13, 14, and 15-year-old when you got Microsoft and Google here. Teach them tech early. They don't need damn phones all day long in these video games. That can transcend the tech, man.
That's right.
We got to guide them that, man. Let them see a better way of life. 'Cause when I grew up, all I thought was damn on Whitewater and Six Flags. That was the only quality of life for young black kids in the ghetto.
That's right.
Whitewaters and Six Flags in Atlanta, bro.
That's right.
And neither one of them is in Atlanta.
Right. I remember at the bit. So just like to that point, what you're saying, a good friend of mine has a slogan, which I'm gonna repeat here. They don't want to rob. They just want a job.
They just want a job.
And Ricky Brown, he coined that phrase, and I like it. I love it. And at the beginning of our conversation, we talked about exposure, and you talked about the things that you was exposed to, because your exposure is going to dictate a lot of the path that you may or may not take, right? And it sounds like to me, what you're talking about here is, as a city councilman, you're going to fight for the underserved.
Absolutely.
You're going to fight for the underprivileged. You're gonna fight for those that come from a background similar to the background that you either saw or that you were around, that your grandparents came from, that your friends came from, that your parents came from, and in fact that you came from, and that so many of us that look like us, that type of background that we came from. Because you're gonna fight for them to have exposure. Like you said, don't give them no damn laptop. I mean, that's cool. You can give them a laptop, but you gotta give them a job too. You gotta give them the exposure. You gotta give them the training. You gotta give them the opportunity, and we know you're gonna do that. And I'm honored and privileged to be sitting here and you coming on and sharing your story, because everybody that's out there is listening gonna know anybody can make a mistake. That's just a moment, a segment, a period in time. But it doesn't define your life, and it's not the final chapter in your book. There's more chapters to be written, and you still writing yours.
Hey, man. Absolutely.
You still writing yours, and I love it. I love it. And I want to give you an opportunity, because we are coming up on the closing minutes of this conversation. We could talk for hours more, and I'm sure we'll do more.
Yeah.
But I want to give you an opportunity to say, some final words to tell people where they can find you, how they can help you, how they can donate, when they got to vote, who they're going to vote for. Because I think you said city council, third post at large, but just give you another opportunity to say some words in closing, words of encouragement, words to let people know that, wherever they've been, wherever they at, the story ain't over. Keep writing that story.
So thank In and Out Podcast, man. It's so important to have this platform with someone like yourself who been in, and out, to know, right? So that's very important, right? So how you can find me is electdrduvwonrobinson.com is the email, right? You can find everything on there on how to reach me. My Instagram is my personal life. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of political stuff on there.
Right.
But my IG page is Duvwon. This is my name. Duvwon. Like Eric said, man, I'm just a guy that believe in helping back, right? I don't need to be friends with these politicians. I'm not in it to get women. I'm not in it for the money. So I think oftentimes when we elect people, you know what I'm saying, they don't come from that world, so they be excited, you know what I'm saying, about the opportunity, how they can make some money the wrong way. They've never been a ladies' man before, so they get in there and want to do it for the women.
Right.
And they get in trouble and they get caught up on all these things. I don't carry none of that baggage with me. I really want to do it for the people. I've been doing it since I came home from college for the people. We've been able to do some extraordinary things without me being elected. And I believe that we can do some endless things if I'm elected in that seat. Post 3 City Council at Large is one of the most significant council seats on council. Usually when you go from that seat, you know what I'm saying, there's a pathway to the mayor seat.
That's
so
right.
Usually that seat is the seat that's been winning
That's
the mayor seat as opposed to council president.
Gotcha.
But I just feel like, man, Atlanta is so unique that you gotta have someone in there that can work with blacks, the white, the Jewish, the Asian community, the gay and straight. We gotta have somebody that are very inclusive. Those are activists. I fight for the underserved and people that's been treated unjustly. But I do believe in those partnerships and, you know what I'm saying, the relationship across the board. That's the only way it's gonna work. You gotta have somebody that can see both sides of the spectrum, you know what I'm saying, that can really help the people, but still hold people accountable.
No doubt. No doubt. Okay. Y'all know what it is. It's Eric Obama Geralt, In and Out Podcast. One more time, In and Out Podcast by Eric Geralt. And today, it was my honor and my privilege and my pleasure to have one of Atlanta's own, from the Georgia Red Clay, one of the originals, trained by the best. His grandparents been doing it. They have laid down the historical groundwork that we now live by today. We need y'all to not only to make In and Out Podcast go viral. Find us wherever you get your podcast platform. It doesn't matter where you go. If you go to YouTube, IG, but we want you to go to YouTube and subscribe. We want you to make us go viral, but more, what we want more is for you to make him go viral. Duvwon Robinson, he's one of the real ones. We need him in there. City Council, Post 3, we need that seat because he's fighting for us. He's one of the real ones. You already know, In and Out Podcast, the realest podcast out there. Real, recognized real. So if y'all is out there, we don't care where you at. You got to tell your friends, we don't care if you're in the street or where you from. We need one of our own. Not just somebody that looks like our complexion, but somebody that's been where we've been. Somebody that understands what it is to be from Atlanta, what it is to just be a normal person. Somebody that knows what it is to have been in those streets before. This dude is Georgia bred. He's one of Atlanta's own. We need you to get out there. We need you to vote. If you ain't never voted before, it doesn't matter. Sign up, get on that election, because we need to get him in there. Make Duvwon Robinson go viral. This is Eric Obama Geralt from In and Out Podcast. INNOUTWW by Eric Geralt. Tune in wherever you get your podcast. We appreciate you for tuning in, and now we out.